Hey everybody, and welcome back to Life with Lolo. It's time for our weekly recap of The Chi. This is season 4, episode 4, and it was titled The Girl from Chicago. Alright, y'all, before I jump into this recap review, if you are not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell. And if you end up liking this recap review, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me. Alright, this episode was pretty good. Like the ending, child, but the rest of it was really good. It was really good. It was heavy, but it was good. So we opened up where we see Tiff living her best life. Okay, Dante is an open buffet. Okay, she was living her best life. Okay, yeah, and then he was teasing her with it. She was like, child, While on the other end of the tracks, Emmett is not living the best of his life. He has a girl over, and she talking to the mic and everything like that, and he is somewhere else. He ain't really enjoying it. He just ain't feeling it. And it's funny because when he is allowed to cheat, he can't enjoy it. But when he was going behind her back, he was all for it. Serves him right. And I'm glad that Tiff is enjoying the best of her life. She is having the best life ever, okay? We see Tracy. She wake up at Duda house. Apparently they had some champagne and stuff like that. She trying to tiptoe down the steps. Here go Mad Rose. Congratulations. And she looking like, what? She was like, you F the mayor of Chicago. So Tracy was like, well, what did I win? Mad Rose looking like, you just don't get it. Like, you don't even know what you just did. Like, you just slept with Duda. Okay, like, he is running things up in Chicago. Well, I was about to say New York. So Tracy like, okay, I just want to go home. So Mad Rose is like, I can't let you leave. She was like, what? She was like, girl, because they out there protesting outside, and I guess I guess blue lives do matter or whatever like that. So Tracy looking like, well, what am I supposed to do now? So Mad Rose is like, well, the chef's still here. Sit down and eat some breakfast. But I'm like, how they gonna know what? Because he live on the top floor, the penthouse suite, not the penthouse suite, the penthouse apartment or whatever. How they gonna know what apartment Tracy came out of? Unless they like right at the door. Or do they got a private elevator? Child, I don't know. But anyway, at the therapist, Nina and Dre, Kevin there. I said finally they put him in therapy again. So Nina like, Kevin then lost his mind. He got a drinking problem. And then Dre like, again, that run on both sides of your family. And then Nina like, well, it run on your family too. I said, but Nina, that ain't her child. Like, she ain't commingle, so it don't really affect. I guess she was trying to say like, your family ain't no better type thing. But they asking Kevin questions, he cussing. I was like, here he go again. Dre like, well, we've been here for him. We all been going through rough times and stuff, but we've been here for him, as much as we can, and we having issues talking about her and Nina. And Nina like, don't be bringing our business into this or whatever. She was like, okay, well. She put her hand on her leg like, it's okay, baby. And so Kevin like, he need a break, because Nina was like, I need a break, I'm tired or whatever. And Kevin like, I need a break. And they like, what you need a break from? And he like, they all over me. And so Nina does admit that she is all over Kevin because of what happened to Keisha last year. She like, I almost lost my child. Like, I cannot get over that. Like, I go to work, I'm having panic attacks. I can't even focus on my job and stuff. And I'm scared that I'm going to get the phone call that my child is laying in a ditch somewhere. So I understood, where she was coming from. Any parent would. But Kevin is feeling like the extra pressure on him. And he just like, he want his freedom and stuff. So they like, well, we gave you that chance before. And he like, see, they don't even trust me. So the therapist was like, well, we have to do like a clean slate or whatever. And so Dre was like, okay, we believe in you, Kevin. So I guess they're going to try to, lack up a little bit on them. Because, they've been on them. But it's not his fault that everything happened. But I understand they trying to protect him and keep him in a little bubble. But he is rebelling like, okay. Duda. We see him in the principal's office, Gemma in the little lobby, and Jake is in there. So I said, oh Lord, this probably had something to do with the show. And it did. So she like, I'm sorry I got you in all this mess or whatever, or he was apologizing to her, and then she was like, well, I'm just glad you told the truth or whatever. We got to stand up for our rights and yada yada yada. Duda come out there and he like, look, first of all, let me tell y'all don't need to apologize for what y'all said out there or whatever like that, because I would have said the same shit. I said, oh, okay, Duda. That's not okay. So then the principal come out there and he like, well, I'm going to cancel the band, and then he going to cancel her show. So, you know, Gemma is not going for that. Why we got to cancel it? Because he stood up to some racist cops and stuff and spoke his mind or whatever. She going off, she cussing, Jake cussing. I say, oh my God. So then Duda like, look, watch your mouth. But first he tell Gemma to watch her mouth, but he didn't tell Jake to watch his mouth. And then Duda like, well, y'all both better be happy that y'all didn't get suspended or whatever like that. Gemma storms out, Jake follow, ain't nobody listening to Duda. And then the principal was like, well, whatever happened to, you know, beating their asses and stuff. And so Duda like, well, I like them to express their voice and stuff. And he was like, well, you see what's happening. And he was like, yeah. What did he say? He said, yeah, they get something about they thinking on their own or something like that. Because the teacher basically canceled her show because he said it didn't still a riot. But I'm like, did it really? Did it really? Or he just scared that somebody recorded it and they're going to post that ish on social media and then it's going to go viral and stuff like that. I don't think it caused no damn riot. Anyway, we see the rude dude, Nook or whatever. He walking down the street with the girl. So the scared girl, he walking down the street with her, and then they go into like a little corner store, and he ends up giving her some money. So she goes into the store, and Imani in there. So Imani was shopping, or I guess they met up or whatever. So she was getting some tampons or whatever. So Imani like, look, I wanted to meet you at the train stop at such and such time, and the girl's scared because she like, he be watching the clock, he gonna know. And she was like, it's okay, it's okay. And then she gives her a burner phone. I said, oh my God, why would you give her that burner phone? And then why would the girl take it? Because I was like, if he anything like any other like pimp or anything like that, and he watching her like a hawk watching the time and stuff, he probably gonna pay her down and check her and see if she got anything else or go on her belongings and stuff. So I was like, oh my God, why did she give her that burner phone? But I guess she was trying to, you know, help her escape and stuff. The girl ain't really had no place to go. So she was like, well, do you have a place to go? She was like, no, I really don't. And so Imani was like, all right, well, we'll figure that out later. Just meet me tonight. I said, this is a whole hot ass mess. And so then we see back with Keisha and Nina. Because, yeah, Dre wasn't there. Was Dre there? No, Dre wasn't there. A couple coming to visit Keisha in the house and stuff. And they did address the house. She said they moved there last year or something like that. I said, oh, okay. Okay. But so I guess they did address it. But whatever, child. So, you know, Keisha go asking them all these questions. They adopted maybe like 4 or 5 kids. It was a lot of children. I had lost count. And so Keisha was like, well, how many kids y'all fitting to adopt and stuff? And they was like, well, hopefully yours will be the last one. This couple was just giving me eerie vibes. Like, I wasn't really liking the vibes that they was putting off. And when they was just like too smiley, too happy, too like perfect. And I was just like, she is not finna give these kids this couple, this baby or whatever. And so then they end up leaving. She was like, well, that's all the questions I had for y'all or whatever. And so they was like, well, you're doing godly work or something like that. What did they say? Yeah. Looks like you made a godly decision or something like that. She was like, what? And he was like, well, you made a godly decision because you ain't kill your baby. I said, yeah, no, they ain't getting that baby. They ain't getting that baby. And so she was like, they ain't had nothing to do with God or whatever. He was like, well, they was both like, well, everything has to do with God. And we raise our children based on the Bible and all this other stuff. And then Keisha was just looking like, and so they ended up leaving. I was just like, no, y'all don't expect a phone call because she is not giving you one. Okay. We see Gemma. She talking about they all in the auditorium. Like, I guess the band is all in the auditorium. And Jake on the band, but whatever. So they all in the auditorium. They all in the auditorium and they talking. And so Gemma talking about stuff. She want to stage a walkout during third period and stuff. And then was it Kevin that was like, well, why would you do that? Like, your parents gonna be home or whatever. And she was like, well, that's the point. Like, we need to do this or whatever. He was like, well, how you going to get it done or whatever? She was like, well, I'm going to DM everybody on IG. He was like, so you want everybody to know it was your idea? That's just stupid or whatever. So Jake, like, you scared. Don't be getting scaring everybody else or whatever. And he was like, look, I just got my freedom. I'm not trying to lose it. Here you go, Jake. Well, why you sound like a runaway slave? I started cracking up. So Jake like, fuck it, I'm tired of behaving. I'm gonna do what I want to do or whatever. And Kevin like, look, these kids gonna be okay. Me and you, we don't have no trust fund or whatever. So Gemma like, well, what that's supposed to mean? He was like, look, if we go to jail or whatever, we not fitting to get bailed out and stuff. Y'all gonna get bailed out. So she was like, well, ain't nobody going to jail. And he said, spoken like a true spoiled black rich girl or something like that. I said, ooh. Y'all done just broke up. Y'all done just broke up. Okay. We see Tiff and Keisha eating that high blood pressure food, child. And she telling Tiff about the adopted parents and stuff like that. And Tiff like, well, look, we need to take EJ to church because both his parents messed up. I don't know how he gonna turn out. Cause she was like, well, where he at? She was like, girl, I don't know. He was Emmett mama or my mama. He was somebody. I said, So, she was saying like how Emmett and her was trying something different or whatever. So Keisha was like, what y'all trying? She was like, girl, it ain't none of your business. She was like, girl, we used to share the nigga. Like, what? So I was like, we used to share the nigga. So then it looked like Tiff was telling Keisha what was going on, but then Emmett come over there talking about what y'all two talking about, looking all crazy in the face. She was like, none of your business. But anyway, we need to talk anyway. So she take him to the back. She going in on him because he was screwing some girl named Dawn. Was it Dawn or Donna? Was it Donna? Donna. And she was like, don't F no girl named Donna. Then you got you screwing her in our house where we raise our kid. Like, you can't be doing all that. And he was like, what? Well, how I'm supposed to know the rules and regulations? She was like, wait, we open now. I can fuck whoever I want to or whatever. She was like, no, you can't be doing her. Not the people I used to work with. Like, she got all these rules and stipulations and stuff. So they got to come up with some type of rules or whatever. And so he was like, well, I don't want you screwing Dante. Like, you going back for seconds and thirds and stuff. It's something you like there. She was like, so what, you want me to diversify? Like, these people is crazy. So he like, no, I want you to stop playing house with the nigga or whatever. So he like, we gotta come up with some boundaries, some ground rules and stuff. And one of those ground rules is you can't go back and forth with the same nigga or whatever. So she was like, you know what? I ain't got time for this. I'll talk to you later or whatever. I was like, she do not like that rule. And then we see Imani, she in Trig vehicle or whatever, and she waiting for the scared girl. Of course the girl don't show up. And when the girl did not show up, I knew right then and there that they must have had killed her or beat her so bad or something like that she wasn't able to escape. Because I was just like, girl, why'd you give her that phone? Why, Imani? Why? So Imani tried to call her, and of course it went to like voicemail or whatever. I said, girl. So she ended up driving off. So then we see Jake and Gemma, and they putting these little flyers in the lockers talking about protests for the revolution and all this other stuff. Kevin coming over there, y'all need some help. I said, boy, no. You should have came with, I apologize. Because you was mad rude. So Gemma like, I thought you wasn't trying to get in no trouble or whatever like that. And he said something, and she was like, so your freedom is more important than the revolution? He was like, well, how am I supposed to stop the, what did he say? How am I supposed to stop the revolution if my freedom gets taken away or whatever? Which is true. Like, if he punished and he can't do nothing, how he gonna make a change? But he can make a change in different ways other than breaking the rules and stuff like that. But Gemma, she ain't trying to hear that, okay? So we see Keisha. She went to Octavia, the first lady that we saw in, what's the episode 1, where the husband was there and he was ruining it for her or whatever. And then the lady went to Keisha's house and was talking to her. So Keisha went to her job and stuff. So the receptionist, called the lady. She said she was in a meeting, but, she would meet her. So Keisha asked the receptionist, like, how long you know her? Is she a good person? Is she a good boss? Do you like her or whatever? And she was like, yeah. She was like, well, what's your name? And she was like, Keisha. She was like, oh, okay. She was like, well, she's a very private person. I don't really know a lot about her in the last 7 years that I worked for her, but she greets me with a smile every morning. And she even paid for my mom's funeral because my dad had just lost his job. So Keisha was like, oh, okay. So then Octavia was free or whatever. So she ended up going down the hallway. The receptionist walked her down to Octavia's office and stuff. And Keisha just in there looking around. And then Octavia comes and, talks to her and stuff. And she was just saying, like, Keisha was asking her, like, did you draw this? Did you design this and stuff? And she was like, yeah. She was like, well, how did you see that? And she was like, well, that's my job to see the rubble and the dirt and then change it into something beautiful. So then Keisha asked her, well, what do you see when you look at me? She was like, well, I study buildings, not people or whatever. She was like, well, if I was a building, what would you see? And so she was saying, like, you would be a strong and sturdy building that survives fires and hurricanes, too strong to ever be destroyed or whatever. So I was like, oh, because Keisha looked like she was about to break down and cry, child. And so Gemma, Jake, and Kevin, everybody in class, but them three mainly, and they watching the clock. So third period about to show up and stuff like that, and they watching the clock because they about to walk out during third period. So the teacher come in there, and Gemma look at Jake, Jake look at Kevin, Kevin just like, I am not going out there with y'all. So the time strikes for whatever they was waiting for and stuff like that. So they ends up Jake and Gemma end up walking out the room. The teacher like, y'all don't have a pass, yada yada yada. They ignore and keep walking. She closed the door, and on the door said Black Lives Matter. So they walk. The way Gemma was walking down that hallway, like she had really did something, child. She was just like real confident. She turned that corner where everybody was supposed to meet at, child. It was only Becky there. What's that girl named Dakota? It was only Dakota there with all these protest signs. And she was like, what? Where's everybody? She was like, well, Kevin had scared everybody. They didn't want to come out. Mind you, they in front of the principal's office. So the receptionist like, why are y'all not in class? And so they was like, well, we want to see the principal. She was like, well, he's not here. Well, where he at? She was like, who is you talking to? She was like, well, where is he at? Or whatever. And so she was like, well, not that it's any of your business, but he has a dental appointment. So Dakota like, well, the principal not even here. What we doing all this? So the receptionist sends them on their way. So then Gemma like, what is we supposed to do now? So Jake comes up with this brilliant idea to pull the fire alarm and they escape. Here go Dakota. Y'all go ahead and run. I'll be your white shield. I said, girl, ain't nobody paying them two children no attention. Like, So then they finally get out there. They running down to the end of the block. And then they like, well, what we supposed to do now? We can't go home. And so Jake was like, well, we could just take the L and see where it take us. We can go get a fish sandwich or whatever like that. Duda at home, Tracy, they playing dress up. Tracy playing dress up for Duda, I guess for this reception that's about to take place next week or whatever. So she all dressed up. She'll be announcing Duda to the stage or something. I don't know, as the mayor. I don't know what she announcing him for, a child, but she'll be announcing him. All I know is they started kissing and some bow chicky wow wow is finna happen. That's all I got from that scene. We see Kevin, he bored up in Smokey's. Papa like, well, what's wrong with you, man? Why you don't never support your black queen and stuff? He was like, well, one time I do something for myself and she ghosted me. Like, it was like maybe like 100 texts. He just sent like 100 texts. So then Papa was like, well, you can get on my show and, apologize and stuff like that. He was like, no, I don't want to do that. He was like, come on, man, you ain't supporting me. You ain't supporting Jake. You ain't supporting your queen. So he was like, all right, man, I'll do the show. So he ends up doing it. So we see Keisha, she walking out with Octavia. She start having this like extreme pain. So Octavia says she's going to call the hospital and stuff, get the ambulance there and all that other stuff. So Emmett and Tiffany, they in their car. They making these rules and stuff. And he like, well, not he. She like, no bitches in the car, no bitches in the house. He like, all right, but this is my car. She was like, whatever. I don't want no bitches up in here. So then she was like, and I want you to let these hoes know that you married before y'all lay down and do stuff. He was like, no, I can't do that. I veto that one. Because some of these hoes don't want to mess with no married man. Like, protecting the black love and the black family is important in these streets. So she was like, well, mess with some white women or whatever. He was like, I don't like no white women. She was like, well, mess with somebody that's free spirited. I don't care. So he like, you done. So he was like, well, no more effing Dante. Her face was like, what? No, I veto that. He was like, well, why you veto that? Why you veto that or whatever? She was like, look, because litigation, he not part of it and stuff. And I'm just trying to give you limitations and stuff. And he was like, well, I don't want you out. She was like, yo, so you want me catching dick from above a whole bunch of niggas? He was just like, no, that ain't what I'm saying. So she like, exactly. So you don't got no problems with Dante no more. And he was like, no, I guess I don't, or whatever. I said, this is going to get messy fast, because the way she be with Dante, because next she was at Dante's house. She got the key and everything. And she like, Dante, he running up behind her, ready to perform. She's smiling, just cheesing. Like, it's a whole new... Feelings is going to get caught, and they going to get crossed, and this going to be a hot-ass mess, okay? Believe me. Then we see Papa Child. He on Instagram doing his podcast. Them damn comments that was strolling on that screen was so funny. You Dr. Phil now? Who is this little nigga? Like, those comments. So then when Kevin got on there, he was just like, well, I'm sorry for the walkout. Papa was like, don't be no snitch. She was like, oh, okay, so I'm sorry for this. Like, Papa just had to keep him on task or something. He was sounding a whole hot mess. The comments was like, oh, this dude pathetic. They was like, drop that nigga. I was cracking up. So Papa got off the podcast or whatever and was like, yo, you did really sound pathetic, man. You did sound pathetic. I was cracking up. Then we see Imani. She walks into the what's the thing called? The where they protecting the community thing. She walks in there, and Trig's like, oh, hey, baby, I ain't here to see you. So she go over there to Tracy. Tracy like, oh, what's going on? She was like, how you going to protect how you here for the community, but you not here for the whole community? She was like, who is you? She was like, Imani. She was like, oh, that's right. You Trig girlfriend. She was like, I am more than that. She was like, I ain't mean it like that. Sit down. Talk to me, honey. Talk to me. What's going on? What's going on? So she tells her, how the house is on the corner and stuff, and how they running girls out of there. And Tracy says that she been trying to shut that place down for a long time. Trig come over there, and he like, what is you doing over here? She was like, I told you to get help with these girls and stuff like that. He was like, all right, I go over there, whatever. Imani like, you better handle it quietly, because if you don't handle it quietly, I'ma handle it real loud and stuff. So then she storms out. Tracy like, well, if your house ain't right, how you gonna tend to these people in the community? So he like, shh. So then we see Keisha. She in the hospital, child. Octavia, she waiting outside outside her room. Nina in there with her. The doctor comes in, says she was having Braxton Hicks or whatever, but her blood pressure was too high. We know why her blood pressure was too high, but the doctor, instead of asking her any questions, any medical questions like, what did you last eat, yada, 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 he go with, well, her blood pressure is so high, we just need to go on and induce labor. Where we do that at? We don't get no labs. We don't get no multiple blood pressures to see if that one was just high because she was just in a lot of pain. Like, we just gonna go induce somebody just like that? No. That's not how that works. And if anything, you should have sent her ass to labor and delivery. They would have monitored her for 24 hours. And then if her blood pressure regulated, they would have probably sent her home on bed rest. But you just don't induce no labor like that. I said, are you serious? So I thank goodness Octavia was there to stand up and advocate for Keisha, because she like, that's kind of drastic. Like, that's kind of rushed. Like, what is we talking about or whatever? And it could be multiple reasons why her blood pressure high. So then Nina, she tries to calm Keisha down or something like that, because the doctor like, well, it could be brain damage and yada, yada, yada. I'm like, she ain't show no other signs of preeclampsia. Like, that's real. However, you supposed to do your due diligence and due diligence. Child, I can't even get the word out. I had it the first time. Due diligence. There we go. And figure out what's going on with her. Like multiple blood pressures, labs, a urine, like something. Come on, doctor. Come on, Dr. Doogie Howser. Let's go. He failed. Okay. We see Dre. I thought Nina was blowing her up, but she was blowing up Kevin, trying to figure out where he was or whatever. And she in there with Jada, because Jada getting her treatments and stuff. And they basically having the same conversation. Like, look, you need to tell Emmett so I can tell Nina and I can tell everybody else, because I can't keep doing this with you or whatever. And so she was like, well, I'm going, talk to Emmett and stuff like that, but he not stable enough. He not going to be able to handle this or whatever like that. And she like, well, you underestimate him and stuff. Like, you really got to tell him. She was like, all right, I'm going to tell him tomorrow. So Nina, we see Nina, she in the hospital room. She calling Dre, and of course it's going straight to voicemail or whatever. So she having a fit about that. Um, and also was that no, okay. So then we see what's some children name? Gemma with her fast ass and Jake, they at the fish place. She ain't never had a fish sandwich before, child, so she enjoying the fish sandwich and stuff. And then she had an eyelash on her cheek, so then Jake had to get the eyelash. She had to all seductive like, and so he like, well, what you wish for? Next day, you know, she up there kissing him. I said, oh, okay. And then next thing you know, he was like, oh, I thought you wished to be my girl or something. I said, what? So then they start kissing some more, child. I said, Lord have mercy. We see Trig, he rolling up on the rude dude and his crew. He like, where Trinity at? And rude dude like, look, you need to tell your bitch to mind her business and stuff. Trig pulled the gun out on Rude Dude posse pulled that gun out on Trig, and Trig like, look, I told you I ain't scared to die. So what it do? I said, not scared to die. Oh, he gangster. Then we see Nina, she calling Dre again, going to voicemail. Then Octavia is talking to Keisha, you know, trying to calm her down and stuff like that. And, you know, she telling her like, look, the doctors don't always know. I think you should get a second opinion type thing, which she was right, because that doctor was just too quick on the draw. And so then Nina was like, oh, so you know better than a doctor. And so Octavia's like, well, I just want the best thing for the baby and stuff like that. And Keisha was like, well, if it's a good idea, you know, we should, you know, protect the baby and have his surgery or, you know, get induced and stuff. So then Octavia asked her, well, what you eat for lunch or whatever? She was like, well, I had a corned beef hash on rye and some chips or whatever and a mystic. You know how much salt is in that damn corned beef, child. So she was like, well, how about we get you some water? And then we had a doctor come back in here and take your blood pressure and stuff like that. So she was like, okay. We see Emmett, he at his mama's house. I think he was getting the baby, or was he dropping it? No, he was getting the baby. And so, not Emmett, the masseuse, what's his name? Sway opens the door. So then he was like, man, why you always here when I'm here? He like, look, this ain't the time, okay? And he was like, your mom wants to talk to you or whatever. He was like, where's she at? He was like, she kind of tired or whatever. He was like, well, why she tired? All that dick you giving her and stuff like that. And I swear, if what she want to talk about is y'all getting married, I'm out of here. Y'all never see me again. So then the baby was like pointing over in the corner and stuff. So he sees, you know, Jada in the bathroom throwing up. So he was like, Ma, you pregnant? She was like, ain't nobody pregnant, boy. And so she blurts out like she got cancer. And then his face like dropped. You could see like the color wash out his face. He just was speechless. He didn't know what to say. Then we see back with Keisha. Of course, her blood pressure normal because she needed water to flush shit out her system, flush all that salt out of her system. And so the doctor come back in there and tell my son, glad it was temporary. You'd have knew that if you would have, whatever. So Keisha says to Octavia, like, you're the one. Like, everybody keeps telling me to listen to my gut and stuff like that. And my gut keeps saying, like, it's you. You're the one or whatever. So then they hug and whatever. And Nina, did y'all see the way Nina was looking? Like, why was Nina looking like that? Do Nina want her to keep the baby? Or, like, what's going on? Because the look Nina gave her was kind of weird. Like, she was kind of upset that Keisha picked somebody to get a baby to. I was kind of like, that was weird to me. Did y'all think that was weird? Or did y'all see the way Nina looked at Octavia? I thought it was weird the way she looked at her. I was just like, something is there. I said there, child. I'm hungry. We see Kevin, he walking with some flowers, and I'm thinking he got flowers for Gemma or whatever. And it looked like he was calling her and so forth, because she looked at her phone and was like, oh my God, it's Kevin. And so she was like, well, what do we do now? Talking to Jake. And he was like, well, I don't know. And so she was like, well, we kissed. And he was like, you kissed me. She was like, okay, well, we kissed each other. Like, what is we going to do now? They both confused. She's so damn confused. She walking the wrong way home. He like, you're a goofy ass. Yo, this way. Drayden brought food for everybody. Nina coming in fussing, talk about something. Oh, I hope this ain't your way of apologizing because you got some explaining to do. She was like, what happened, baby? What's going on? she was like, she almost died. Keisha, like, I did not almost die. Like, she is just too dramatic and stuff like that. I am okay. It was Braxton Hicks. So Dre, like, girl, don't be scaring me like that. Don't be scaring me like that. You know I gotta turn my phone off during sessions. She was like, mm-hmm. Kevin come in with the flowers, saying he brought flowers for them. They drinking some wine. You know, they selling them down to eat. Emmett, he come back with the baby, take the baby upstairs. Tiff lighting up a joint. And then they sit down. He just start crying. She like, well, what's wrong? And he like, how you always know something wrong with me? She was like, because we connected. Now what's wrong? He just start crying. She go over there and hug him and stuff. Nina and Dre sleeping, Nina awake. Dre phone going off. Nina sees it. She goes and picks it up, reads the text message. It's from Jada, and it says, thank you for keeping our secret. I said, child. So God only knows what's going through Nina's head, child. Trey comes back to his house. Imani's sitting there. He put the phone down, and I said, nope, I knew it. I knew it. He was like, you gave this to her? And she was like, yeah, you know, I gave it to her, whatever. And he was like, Rudu had it. And so she was just like, where is she? And so he was like, they found her body over in Bishop. She just broke down crying and then ran to her room, child, crying. I was like, damn. That's how we gonna end the episode. Okay. So that was good, y'all. It was a good, heavy episode. A lot is going on. I wonder, because it looks like the reception is taking place next week. So I wonder if that's when Duda gonna get shot or it's gonna be the next one. But child, it was good. Y'all let me know what y'all felt about the episode. And like I said, if you enjoyed this recap review, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you are not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified when I drop new videos. All right, y'all. Until next time. Peace.